In this tutorial, we'll take a look at dimensioning and creating the multi-view drawing for the safety key. This is the first time that we have a circular feature. And looking at our dimensioning rules, there's some things that we need to add. One is we have to add a center mark. By adding the center mark, we also have to add center lines in the adjoining views, showing that this feature is circular. With every circle or every hole, there is at least 3 dimensions: its horizontal placement, its vertical placement, and the diameter of the hole. After we have the center marks, we can then add, or we have a place to dimension our horizontal and vertical placement. This is also the first time that we have an angular measurement. Luckily, in the design of this product, we have used this angular dimension before. If it is an interior angle, it is typical to place the angle dimensions on the part, which goes against one of our dimensioning rules, but this is common practice to dimension interior angles on the object. Again, we do need all the dimensions to create or inspect the part, following our dimensioning rules. This one, you'll notice that all the dimensions are only to 2 decimal places. So in this one, we're going to worry about changing the number of decimal places, which we will continue to do from here on out. Initially, it was set to 4 decimal places, which is kind of a fail-safe when having an inch product, at least for our class. But we're going to be very vigilant on how many decimal places these products need. So we are going to use our template, and we are going to place a top, front, and right side view at a scale of 1:1 with hidden lines. From there, we will add the center marks and hidden lines. So I do have my front view. We want to use a scale of 1:1, placing the front view in the lower left-hand corner. And it is showing my hidden lines, those dashed lines. I'm going to project the top and the right side view, as well as a scaled down isometric view. Select this view, change the scale to 2:3, which is the scale size smaller, and shade it. This one is in the upper right hand corner for visual purposes. Working on placement of my top, front, and right side view and my spacing. Looks pretty good. We might have to move this after we add some dimensions. One thing that we need here is a center mark. Under geometry, if these tools do not exist in the toolbar, if you come down, there are 3 dots, and you can pin these tools to your toolbar. And once you pin them to your toolbar, you then can move them within the toolbar in this section. So anytime that we have a hole, we are going to add a center mark, and the corresponding views will get a center line. The center line is a long dash, short dash, long dash, line type. If I select the 2 opposing hidden lines in this one, I will create that center line. Since I am on the center line tool, I will select the 2 corresponding hidden lines to create the center line. In terms of dimensioning the circle, there are 3 dimensions. One's the diameter. There is a difference between radius and diameter. If it is a circle, we dimension the diameter. If this is not a tool in your toolbar, I would suggest pinning it. This is one we use constantly, or will from here on out. While you're in here, you want to add your angular dimension, because we will use that in this part as well. So select somewhere on the circumference, and from our dimensioning rules, the leader line cannot be vertical or horizontal. Any convenient angle. There is the shoulder, the horizontal line, and the dimension itself. There are 3 dimensions. We are given the horizontal dimension is 138 and a vertical distance of 0.56. This one I am placing here on the object, because if I were to drag this out, I'd be going through multiple object lines, and the same thing would hold true if I brought it to the back side of the part. I'd be bringing this dimension through multiple object lines. Here's a good option, and also here's a good option. Either one is fine, but don't do it twice. The next dimension that is new is an angular dimension. By selecting the two angled lines, it is common practice to place interior angular dimensions on the part. From here, dimensioning should go pretty straightforward. Overall length, width, and height. And then all dimensions needed to construct or inspect the part. We cannot assume that the feature is centered. Depth of cut. Dimensions between the arrowheads. This could also be done to the right side. We have seen this feature before. Sorry, let me dimension it the way it is on the paper. 0.44 between the arrowheads. Distance for this front stepped cut. Again, using your linear dimension tool. This is not an aligned dimension. I do have a couple more here for this tail section. And a depth of cut. Alright. So, one of the things that we need to do is change the precision, and that will definitely affect this 0.4 dimension. All your dimensions for this part were at 2 decimal places, and right now we're at 4. So we need to go into the document settings and change our precision from 4 decimal places to 2. In this one, our fitment, I'll leave that trailing 0 on. The fitment for this 0.4, if we kept the 4 decimal places, wouldn't fit or be awful crowded. By changing the number of decimal places, it does affect how we can place and fit our dimensions as well. 2 decimal places is the highest number of decimal places for this part, and that is why we are using it in terms of construction. Okay, so we added center marks, center lines, an angular dimension, and changed the number of decimal places. Add the title block. This is the tool holder. In inches, ANSI, scale of 1 to 1. Paper size, A. And today's Monday, or when this is due, this year. Final check on spacing and fitment. Let me move this one up a little bit. Looks pretty good. Print this out.